Do you remember a time when a good knife would glide through a tomato, and now you find yourself pushing harder and harder with no clean cut at all? I remember when a kitchen knife was something you trusted without thinking. You set it on the board, made one smooth pass, and the tomato fell apart, clean and neat. It just needs the right care. Today, I want to show you a simple way to bring that edge back, using sandpaper and a paper clip. Nothing fancy, just a method you can do at home and rely on again. First, you need a solid base to work on. Take a flat piece of wood, about 4 inches wide and 8 inches long, something that sits steady on the bench. At one end, drill a clean hole straight through the board. This simple piece of wood becomes the foundation of the sharpener, keeping everything stable while you work and helping you stay safe and precise. Now, we install the long bolt that acts as the main pivot. Take the bolt and place it into the hole you drilled earlier. Then use a pencil to trace the shape of the bolt head onto the wood. With a chisel, carefully carve out that shape. Going about halfway down into the board, so the bolt head can sit flush. This step matters because it keeps the bolt from spinning later. Once the recess is ready, drop the bolt in, tighten it firmly, and make sure it stands straight and solid. This bolt will control the sharpening angle, so take your time and make it secure. Tell me what part of the country you're watching from. I read every comment. Next, add the 2 small support screws on the opposite end of the board. Drill 2 small pilot holes. Then thread the screws in just loosely, leaving enough space for washers to move a little. These screws will hold the spine of the knife steady, so keep them straight and evenly spaced. Now take a piece of denim old jeans. Work great here. Lay it flat on the board and use strong double-sided tape to secure it tight with no wrinkles. This denim becomes your strop. It helps clean and straighten the edge after sharpening, and it gives you that smooth finished cut you remember from a well-kept knife. Now let's make the sanding bar that holds 2 grits on one piece. Take a smaller, thicker block of wood, about 1 inch thick and roughly 6 inches long. This piece needs to feel solid in your hand. Measure the center of the thickness, not the face, and drill a straight hole all the way through. Take your time here. A straight hole keeps the sharpening angle consistent later. Next, take a welding rod or a straight steel rod and press it firmly into that hole. It should be tight enough that it does not wiggle. If it feels loose, add a drop of epoxy and let it set. This rod is what guides your sharpening angle, so stability matters. Now flip the wood block over. On one flat side, glue a sheet of 320 grit sandpaper. Press it down smooth with no bubbles. This side does the real cutting and reshapes the edge. Turn it over and glue 1000 grit sandpaper on the other side. This finer grit smooths and refines the edge after the rough work is done. When you hold this piece, you now have a simple two-sided sharpening bar that switches grits just by flipping your wrist. It is basic, dependable, and built to last just like the tools we grew up trusting. Now we set up the angle guide, and this is where the paperclip does the real work. Take a large metal paperclip and open it slightly so it can slide over the long screw you installed earlier. Clip it right onto that screw so it can move up and down, but still hold firm when you let go. Next, take the welding rod that's attached to your sanding bar and slide it through the open loop of the paperclip. What you've just made is a simple pivot. As the rod moves, the paperclip controls the height, and that height controls your sharpening angle. Now, adjust the paperclip up or down on the screw. Raise it a little at a time until the blade sits at about a 20-degree angle against the sandpaper. You do not need to measure this perfectly. A steady, repeatable angle matters more than an exact number. Once it looks right, tighten the paper clip by squeezing it slightly so it does not slip during use. To hold the knife steady, rest the spine of the blade between the two small screws and washers you installed earlier. This keeps the knife from drifting while you sharpen. Take a moment here and test the motion without pressure. The rod should move smoothly, and the angle should stay the same from start to finish. This simple setup replaces expensive guides with one paperclip, and it gives you control you can feel with every stroke. Now, it's time to start sharpening with the 320 grit sandpaper. Lightly spray a little water on the sandpaper and on the knife blade. This keeps the grit from clogging and gives you a smoother cut. Set the blade into position with the spine resting against the two washers so it stays steady. Hold the sanding bar by the upper half of the small wood block, not down low near the blade. This keeps your hands safe and gives you better control. Move the sandpaper along the edge in slow, even strokes. Do not rush. Let the grit do the work. After a few passes, you should feel the edge starting to wake up again. To finish the edge, take the blade over to the denim cloth. Lay the knife flat, then gently pull it backward along the fabric. Do this on both sides, slow and steady. This step removes the last fine burr and smooths the edge. You will feel the knife glide cleaner with each pass, and that's how you know the sharpening is done right. Now you can see the difference. The knife cuts clean with no force, just like it used to. This simple setup uses basic materials, but it gives you control safety and a sharp edge you can trust in your own kitchen. If you enjoy practical fixes like this, and you still believe in making things work again, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a friend who loves DIY at home.